Uh, I think a bit of both. Toronto definitely did step up their game. Initially, I think we were playing well, but then we started going downhill. So a little bit of both. We could have played better, and Toronto did play better than I expected. Arthur.
Was non-existent. And I don't know, how do you lose to a guy named Cameron Dukes, right? How many people that watch the game today that follow this league can tell me where Cameron Dukes came from, where Cameron Dukes played, and how does he outplay Vernon Adams? Were we still in preseason mode? I don't know. Let's dig into it.
Yeah, I know. So first, welcome to all our friends online on the live stream. Glad that you can join us tonight. We've got a couple comments. Let me just bring up a couple comments here. So first off is from S. Davis. S. Davis says, "I thought we could pull off a win in Toronto there. Too many turnovers and sacks." Yeah, for sure. Another comment from Huge Benno. "I'm pretty pissed off right now. Glad the bros can help sort through this mess with me. Roar, you Lions, roar, I guess." So, guys, what do you think? I thought we could have pulled off a win today. What went wrong?
When you lose the turnover battle, you lose the game, right? And so they lost at 4-1, I believe, right? So yeah, I mean the I mean the one in the fourth quarter where they're marching, they're in field goal range, they're down by two, if I believe, right? Down by two. I know you, and it was short, second and short, and then Vernon just loses the ball. Yes, like the D line got free shot at Vernon. He was probably going, he's probably looking downfield because he could have hit a quick shot, right? You're second and short, hit the quick shot. Maybe second and five, second and six. Doesn't matter. You can't be, you're looking downfield. You lost the ball, and then the Lions are on their back foot
Yeah.
since that point. And you
So,
can't lose ball security, number one thing in football. Greg?
yeah. Oh, Gene,
Uh,
hold on, just comment.
yeah,
Gene
what's
here
that
says
comment?
our O line and D line were trash.
I absolutely agree with each and every comment we've seen so far. I thought we could pull off a victory because, again, looking just at the quarterback position alone going into this game, Nick Arbuckle or Cameron Dukes. We've got Vernon Adams, leading passer of last year. But, and I mean, yeah, both teams underwent changes, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, our D line and O line were absolute I'll just say non-existent because I mean we know some of those guys and I really don't want to meet any of those guys somewhere in a dark room. But you know what, we lost the battle of the trenches on both sides of the ball, and like Arthur said, when you lose the battle of the turnovers, you're not going to win the game, and when you lose the battle in the trenches, you're not going to win the game. Our D line looked good early on,
He
but then
did.
when Toronto started punching back
Yeah.
offensively and defensively in the trenches, we had no answer. When
Yeah.
their D line cranked it up, our O line looked confused, and
Yeah.
we didn't do anything,
I know we got to work on
anything
it
to
because
fix
our
that O
D
line.
line has the heft now. Last
Yeah.
year we complained that our D line was too light, right?
Yep,
We got the heft. We could see them physically; they were bigger. But and
absolutely.
initially we were good at the first second quarter, and then it just went downhill. You know, James says here Toronto's D line and O line were pretty good, and
Yeah,
kudos
Uh
to
pretty
huh.
good.
them. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
kudos to them. Yeah,
I'll bring up another point, and I was saying that before is their punter totally
Oh,
flipped the field
yeah,
in the fourth quarter.
he did.
Like
into the
they
wind.
were punt, we were getting the ball within our like around our 5 yard line. Like I think three times. once we went out and got a field goal, which is huge. And then they flipped the field on us again. Flintoff kicks punts from our end zone. We get it, they bring it, they pretty much get a field goal out of that because they return it to the 40-yard line.
And
of
he
BC.
had the wind at his back based on what the commentators were saying.
Like, yeah, we had the win in the fourth quarter. I don't know how they punt. So I don't know what has to happen. Yeah. I mean, maybe their punter got lucky, but I mean, I know that punt, like Williams tried to okay, maybe we'll give up the point. At that time, we were down by 2. We're like, okay, he's going to let it bounce. And then I think it bounced over his head around the 5-yard line. Fine. The ball is going to go to the end zone, give up the point, get the field position. But we didn't get the bounce. And then it kind of rolled at the 2-yard line. We got pinned again.
Yeah. Yep. And then their D line turns up the intensity, and we just escape giving up a safety. Ridiculous. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, we got intentional grounding, and essentially it was, and then we're like 3rd and 24 on our 1-yard line. I mean, come on. I mean, that's pretty much giving them 3 points. Yeah. But I mean.
So another comment here from S. Davis. VA said after the game, I didn't see that yet, but it's the same story as last year. He said he couldn't take care of the ball. I mean, partly it is his fault, for not holding on to the ball tightly. But he did hurt his hand, got stepped on, and the O-line was just so porous. People were right in his face. He barely had like 1.5 seconds. What do you guys think?
Well, if I can, I remember when Arthur tuned in. Arthur said, was he even in shotgun? I said, yeah, he was in shotgun, and he had the back ends of his O-line in his face 7 yards off the line of scrimmage on a snap, and he still goes down. And okay, if that's the same story as last year, VA, you're a vet, boy. You should learn from the mistakes that what happened in TO last year, because I think it was a turnover story that last year too as well. Arthur?
Well, I was just watching the Edmonton CFL game earlier. I think it was yesterday, right? If we had 3 quarterbacks like Warren Moon, Damon Allen, and let's just say Matt Dunnigan, then I'm fine with the starter going on the short yardage. But we don't have anywhere near the quarterback quality this year. If we let Vernon Adams go short yardage, it's to our detriment because he's going to get hit. And
he
I think Farhan Lajouri tweeted that much earlier today that it's just not good. Yeah. And if it's a Grey Cup hosting year, VA has been touted as potentially the MOP winner. Like if everything sets up properly for VA, and you're letting him go short yardage, that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Now I get it. Why is the CFL coaches were stashing the third string quarterback as like the short yardage guy, and I think they want to groom Bryce, but then let Dolagala then do the short yardage. Like come on, you can't let VA take those kind of hits.
Yeah.
Well, they did say
VA won't last 6 weeks doing this. I agree.
Oh, 100%, man.
Yeah.
Well, I think during the broadcast, the TSN guy said, if you put Dolagala back there, he's a pretty big target to hit on short yardage. So was Strevler. But did anybody stop Strevler on short yardage, especially when he ran against us? No. Did anybody stop Dolagala when he was doing short yardage with Saskatchewan? No. So why don't you try that here? Is Campbell just of the smaller backfield mentality, small running backs? Okay, maybe we upgraded with Stanback this year. But a slightly framed quarterback compared to, say, like what Arthur said in Dunnigan, Moon, and those guys are a little bit bigger than our VA. And VA is a good quarterback, but you can only take so many shots. And he took some today, coupled to the chin when he did a feet first slide, no call. I'm not going to nag on the refs. That's a totally different story. But yeah, 6 weeks. I'm going to say he wouldn't last 4 weeks taking those kind of hits.
Yeah. So
and getting stepped on.
James says, Miss TJ and Hatcher. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah, 100%. A lot of leadership, and I think that's when we went to our season kind of, I think, predictions or just kind of our overview, and I said I'm concerned about the leadership of this team.
You did.
We lost a lot of leaders. Some of them are injured, and we lost, and we just didn't re-sign some, like the guy that's behind Greg right now.
This guy?
And
This guy right here?
that guy right there. Well, hey, all leaders, right? We lost a lot of leaders. We're gonna get some of them back, but we need new ones to emerge. So
Yeah.
we're hoping for that.
All right. Shifting gears, a comment from Caleb. What did we see that we liked from BC?
All right.
Oh, a positive spin. Caleb, thank you so much.
I like that. I like Caleb.
Caleb's a good guy. Good guy.
Stay away from Greg, Caleb.
Caleb keeps me in check. What do we like from BC? I loved I mean, when we did get into the backfield defensively, we were swarming. I mean, that fumble that was returned for a touchdown is because we swarmed that quarterback. We were there. Just didn't happen often enough for me. Arthur?
27 points scored on the road. Is that enough to win a game in the CFL?
Anyone want to comment on that one out there in football land?
27 points offensively. Should you be able to win?
Whoa! You got to give the big old D that one touch. You got to give the bye his. So
okay.
Really,
yeah.
17 points offensively.
Yeah.
17 offense. Field goal. Well, it's 20. Yeah. So, I mean, the defense. Okay, so they got a defensive touchdown. They gave up way too much. So the offense kept us in the game, and we saw a chance. Like I was saying to you guys, that fly pattern to Hollins, right? The initial one, and that VA threw out of bounds. If you actually threw the proper ball, there was a chance.
Okay, so Arthur likes having a chance at the very
There was a chance. Hey,
Yeah.
when you're down on the road, the way it was going, you're down by 8. You take the chance, and then he just he missed this shot.
Yeah.
He missed.
Huge Benny. Yes, that was another point I was making. Yes.
Yeah. To Hema as the beast. Didn't see anything from Covington. Got to stop the run, man. Yeah.
100%.
So, yeah, and Jim says this too. Love our receivers, not concerned about. Yeah. I think defensively, the first couple quarters we were a little bit more aggressive, and then the second half I don't know what happened. We just turned it off. We were just so conservative. I remember telling you, Greg. We gotta. You were asking, do we wait for the ball? Do we run up to it? We gotta run up to it.
Go get it.
Especially if we can't give them a first down and we're waiting for them to come to us. So I don't know why the shift in mentality there, but yeah, definitely.
The bend don't break defense almost worked at the end. Like after they got that touchdown to start the second half,
almost had our O-line held, maybe. But
yeah. From the defense point of view, they stopped them. I mean, I don't know, like they stopped them. I think Toronto started making mistakes. I mean, Toronto was playing very well. Like I think it was maybe like a quarter and a half. Their offense was just like they're making plays, and the BC defense were stunned. I don't know, whatever reason, right? Yeah. So they switched to the bend don't break, and they're able to kind of stop them. The offense needed to reciprocate and be more aggressive. So I would say it looks like the game was ebb and flows. The offense was good early. The defense was okay, and then of course, with the defensive touchdown, and then they kind of got ventilated a bit. Then they went to the bend don't break, and then they kind of got some stops, right? Like maybe Toronto just stopped making plays, and then our special teams, the punters in the fourth. I mean, that if they flip the field on us and we get pinned, we it's tough. Yeah. And we're within our 5-10 yard line. Greg, as a defensive kind of minded person, you feel like you want to get that safety.
Oh, absolutely. You got to back up there. You go after it. You don't.
Yeah. So and then
dictate it. Yes.
Campbell's going to play conservative.
Yeah.
And he did. He called a conservative game, whether it's him or McKismick. They called a conservative game when the lines were pinned deep. Now they were able to get out of there once. I mean, it's hard to keep doing that, right?
Yeah. Here's another comment
what
from
was sad. Oh yeah, go ahead, Ro.
Another comment from Gene. We have supposedly a legit RB1, but if our O-line is crap, it don't matter. I agree. Yeah. Like a standback showed some brilliance tonight. There were quite a few runs where he actually got past the line of scrimmage, and he consistently got like 4 or 5 yards, 6 yards, even 9 yards one play, right? But there were a few places where he was stuffed in the backfield. Like he didn't even get to the line of scrimmage, and the O-line, allowed the defenders in there. So, I agree with this comment. I think we do have a legit running back, but the O-line needs to step it up.
Well, as Arthur pointed out earlier during the game today, it's pretty bad. And I mean, it is math. We have 5 offensive linemen, right? Center, 2 guards, 2 tackles. They're getting incredible penetration with all 4 of the defensive linemen. And I'm sorry, like, I don't care how you cut it. 4 never should beat 5. That's just the way it is. I don't know if our O-line was confused. I don't know if our O-line is just not good enough. I'd love to throw it out there to those that are commenting and chatting with us, because this O-line, I mean, what's the definition of insanity? Trying to get different results out of the same input, right? Well, this is the same O-line, other than Pearson was out, Knievel is in, but everything else is the same. And if it's like that porous to start with, I mean, yeah, okay, you can only go up from here, but man, I'm a little worried.
Yeah. Surrey Leo's fan asks, do you guys think we had enough grit?
No. Sorry.
I mean, you measure grit on the offense. You measure grit on the line of scrimmage, number one.
Line of scrimmage.
You measure grit breaking
yards.
tackles from the running back or like receiver, like on offense. And how much did you see? I mean, I was mentioning, wow, no.
My opinion.
McInnes had some big catches. I'm looking at the stats, right? He was targeted 10 times, had 7 receptions, 101 yards, 1 TD.
I beg to differ, but the comment is, did we have enough grit? And I said,
hey,
no,
Greg, I'm gonna make you run a curl pattern in the middle of their defense, and they're playing a soft zone, and you're gonna stand there and you're gonna take a massive hit from
that's fine,
probably
that's
a cover
fine.
2. You're gonna cover 2. You're gonna.
That. But the question is, did we have enough grit overall? And I say no, we did not.
Well, not enough, but I'm not saying we don't have 0.
No, Arthur's asking about
receivers. No, my 0.
I'm talking about the
enough. Yeah, we didn't have enough.
We haven't have enough grit, but we had. I'm just telling you where we had grit. We had grit in the receivers because they went in there and they took those hits.
Yep.
Like, when it's different when you're doing fly patterns, you're doing out patterns, right? You're not going to get hit. If you're doing a crossing route, you're doing a curl into the middle, you're in a soft zone, which Toronto's running, because eventually they're getting pressure on 4-5 guys, right? And because of that, then they like, okay, well, we'll sit back 8. We'll let 4 gets pressure on you guys. So why are we blitzing?
Yeah.
So and then they're sitting there in their cover 2, and they're hitting our slot backs. They're just pounding them. So I would say those guys had grit. Had grit.
But defensively, where was our grit when they did their crossing patterns and sending all their receivers into the middle continuously, play after play after play? We didn't hit anybody.
Yeah.
Our linebackers were non-existent.
Well, I would say, to be fair, Tehema was bringing it.
Sure.
Tehema was bringing it.
But I'm going on. You're like going into the middle of our defense. Where was the grit? We did not have any grit in the middle of our defense to dictate anything.
That's the big thing. Like
that's how they moved up the field.
Yeah, the whole game we were seeing them run through our middle, all these crossing patterns and nothing. And the thing that I measure grit for in defense is how hard do we tackle. If you look at our tackles, they weren't very hard tackles. They were soft tackles.
Oh, Tehema hit. Yes.
Give him that. Toronto. Oh, on the D line, yeah.
Yeah.
But on our defensive backfield, the tackles are pretty soft. If we compare that to Toronto's backfield, they were tackling pretty hard. They hit Adams pretty hard on a couple hits, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Toronto was hitting and then tackling. We were just wrapping up and putting down.
We have, I mean, again, our secondary, like I mentioned this earlier, is it's going through a bit of turnover, right? So we have 2. I mean, Adrian Green started some games for us last year, and now he's the starting safety, right? You're not going to mix him up with Alexander from Winnipeg, who basically runs downhill and is a big bully, right? And I think Dalkey in Saskatchewan making big hits. So we just don't. He's just not. I don't know if he's there yet. No, maybe he was there, but again, this is a big thing. It's kind of a big challenge, right? Because we have a lot of newcomers in our secondary.
Well, okay, and Toronto doesn't. Like I said at the top of they went through just as many changes as we did. They lost theirs. Quincy Moje, our safety, is now their safety. They've
Yeah.
gone through changes. They lost their all-star corners, their all-star shutdown defensive backs. They've got I don't know what's number 48's name, that their safety linebacker hybrid guy.
Well, I mean, McManus, he's still in the
Wynton
middle.
McManus, yeah.
Yeah, he's still in the middle. So
Yeah.
he's still there in the middle, and he made some big plays, right?
Right, but their secondary has undergone some changes as well. But they were still hitting. I mean, new or not, you still correct me if I'm wrong, Ro, but is hitting and tackling not an elementary part of football? Doesn't matter if you're new to the team or not. You still hit a guy.
Yeah, and but you see, that's where the heart comes, right? If you've got the heart and you're really going for it, you're going to be hitting harder. You know, the soft tackles.
I like the soft tacos. Yes, that was a good one. Yes,
soft tackles like Taco Bell.
Well,
we got to get Mr. Benno on here.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying it's tough. You know, some teams can react more quickly than others. I would say the Toronto secondary was bailed up by the Toronto D line. I mean, don't you think? Have you switched to D lines? Who wins the game?
Oh yeah.
Right. I'm just saying, we switched to D lines. Who wins the game?
Well, there was that one play. Do you remember we saw Josh Woods actually make a tackle in the open field? But I noticed he did a full 180 to check what's going on behind him first. That allowed the Toronto ball carrier an extra 5 or 6 yards before Woods just waited to make a tackle. Is that because he's not trusting on what's going behind him, or he's not sure?
Making sure he's wondering if there's backup, and there was none.
Make the tackle.
He's obviously not confident because he needed to make sure there was no back. Like I mean, obviously the reason why you look behind you is because you're wondering if there's backup.
I'm sorry. But with all, and I like Josh Woods, but with all the tout that he got that, oh, we need to make him a star because he's been a plug and play package guy and he's now the guy. You should not be looking behind you when there's a ball carrier coming at you. I'm sorry. I coached that to little kids back in the day. You don't turn around like this when there's a guy coming at you full out.
Well, I think RP should be hiring you there, Greg.
In Leo's land. Am I wrong?
Well, maybe they need a linebacking coach, Greg. You should apply.
I was a secondary coach, but maybe.
You're
I
a
don't
secondary
know.
coach.
But come on. You don't look behind you. And again, like Roland said too, you don't wait for the ball carrier to get to you. He's coming at you full steam ahead, and you stand there. If he bowls you over, that's an extra X amount of yards because he ran you over. And if there is no backup, then you're done. But if you go aggressively attack the ball carrier and at least make contact, hopefully you've got some swarming D personnel around you. But don't turn around and look.
Yeah, that's.
I
agree with you. I agree with you, Greg. I'm just giving you. Yeah, you can't turn around. I mean,
no.
Hey, if you're the last guy, if you're the last, go ahead.
No, I think I tweeted. I don't know how many times. Like, where's Josh Woods? Where's Josh Woods? Why is Josh Woods like? He was so ineffective in the beginning of the game. But enough. We'll put that dead horse. I'm not beating that dead horse.
Yeah, I mean, of course you're not supposed to turn around, right? You're supposed to make the tackle, or else if you can't, they'll bring in someone who will make that tackle, who doesn't need backup, right?
Yeah.
I think it looks like he needs a better game for this next game.
Yeah. So huge Benno's missing Marcus Sales. Thanks, guys.
Well, Marcus Sales was a halfback. So who are our halves today again? It was Keontae Evans and Manny Rugamba were the starting halves today. So it's not like we had complete rookies out there. And
well, we had one. Okay, we have one. Evans is new to the scheme. Mind you, he had all off season. Rugamba was our Sam, situational Sam linebacker. Now you put him in coverage.
Well, he did start as a halfback when he came to the team, though.
Okay, and then they moved him up.
Yeah.
And then, so, again, are they, like, experienced halfbacks in our system? No. One is experienced halfback, Evans. One's experienced with the Lions scheme. But they're kind of new to our scheme and RP. So, I would say I'm willing to give this a little slack. Very little, but as of for now, for sure, you're missing Sales. But Sales, I would say he underperformed or underwhelmed. I thought maybe underwhelmed is a better word in the second half of last year.
He kind of tailed off, you say?
Yeah, I think he had a better first half than last year. I mean, for the prior year to the last one, 2 years ago, he was an all-star. But last year, I don't know if he was an all-star form. And then his first half was better than his second half. And I think Farhan tweeted out that he wasn't shocked that Sales. I think you have to eventually bring in young players.
Yeah.
And yeah, I saw with some of the other CFL teams, they brought in some young secondary, taller, leaner, faster. You're going to have to make that transition. Now, it's kind of shocking that the Lions would do it in a Grey Cup hosting year, but maybe the salary cap had something to do with it.
Maybe, yeah. So a couple compliments from the guys on the chat here. S. Davis says, is better post-game analysis than the radio guys, as much as I like them.
Get that guy some cheesecake.
Yeah. Huge Benno says, way better post-game than the Moj. Well, hey, both of you guys, S. Davis, Huge Benno, come look for us in section 246. We'll buy you guys a burger.
Is that coming out of our budget or your paycheck?
I guess it's out of my paycheck.
Yeah, absolutely. Fan engagement. We are looking so forward to it this year. It's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely.
Yeah. There's from S. Davis earlier on. In your tweet tonight, it looks like one of you poured the perfect beer and one of you poured one with way too much head.
All right, Roland, you got to fess up now.
All right, okay, I got to fess up. So, guys, actually, I poured both those. I poured both those beers. So I did a really, careful pour for Arthur, and then the halftime was almost over. We needed to take a photo so we can tweet it out before the halftime. I didn't want to miss the game, so I poured mine really quickly, and that's what you saw. So being the gentleman, I took the bad pour and I gave Arthur the good pour. So that's the backstory there.
Good on you, Ro. That is our most in-depth question right there about the beer.
It is.
Yeah. There's no Jason Claremont. Oh, I missed that guy.
Yeah.
That's the definition of grit.
100%. I think Greg, Roland, and I all agree on this one.
Yeah.
But Katoy, Roland and I commented on that earlier in the game. Yeah. He is good for at least 3, 4, 5 yards after the catch. And when he catches, it might not be any blinding speed, but he does punish the tacklers when he does get that ball. And today, I think he got targeted twice. One catch?
2 for 2, 39 yards.
Oh, it was 2 for 2. Okay.
And the Yak were 20 out of 39 yards total. 20 were Yak yards.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gotta get the guy the ball more.
Yep.
Yeah.
But see, I think Katoy is suffering a little bit from identity crisis because he's so used to blocking. Today he got blown up as a blocker, but he was great as a receiver. So he's got to get that something to make sure he knows how to do both.
Yeah. So for the receivers, Hollins had 13 targets, 8 receptions for 90. Of course, I mentioned Justin McInnes, 10 targets for 7 receptions, 103 with a touchdown. Stanback 5 for 5, 50 yards. Pretty good.
Not bad, yeah.
Better than our previous running backs. Fulham, 2 for 2, 54 yards for the touchdown. And Katoy, 2 for 2, 39. And Eberhardt, 1 for 1, 27.
That was a great catch, too.
It was a great catch. Yeah.
Great catch.
But it seems like VA was forcing the ball to Hollins a bit, huh?
He's the go-to guy now, right? So.
Wow. He's just.
Yeah. So.
Oh, Greg.
I'm just saying, nobody forced the ball to this guy last year because they stuck him up. Bad scheming last year. We need him back. If you put him in a feature spot, I guarantee different things happen. Just saying. So, but anyway, enough of that.
Yeah, Surrey Leos fan brings up one of Greg's favorite players, Rob Murphy.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And this guy, too, number 16. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
16.
Grit. And leadership. Definitely.
Yeah.
Grit, yeah.
So.
Hey, and you know what? I'd be remiss. Rob Murphy's getting some props out there, but hey, Chris Perez, that was another gritty offensive lineman. We had some nasty guys. Bill Stevenson was quiet but nasty. We had a good O-line back in our 80s and that mid chunk 90 heyday. I miss him. Sorry, Leo fan. Leo fan or Lions? Leo fan. Tell them what section we're 246, right?
Yes. Yeah. We're 246.
Come down. We'll talk grit.
All right, guys. So we had guess how many yards passing Vernon Adams had?
Actually, I can look it up, but I can't.
I know you can look it up. Like, just guess, because
Are we
you
talking
know, like
ranges?
this game.
Okay,
This
I'll
game?
say 300, give or take.
I don't think
No.
you-
200,
Come on, I mean,
give or take.
come
Sorry,
on, come on.
200, give or take.
It's between you and Roland. So how much?
200, give or take for me.
200, give or take. All
Say
right.
200,
I mean, come on. I mean, it's
150 to
only you
200.
and like,
You want an exact number?
yeah,
183.
183. Very interesting. All right, go ahead, Roland.
I don't know. I'm just off the top of my head. I would say it's even less than that. Maybe
I was already giving you guys the yardage.
What is it?
Don't do math that fast, man.
I gave. Come on. All right, Roland. Just give a guess. I mean, obviously, Greg's gonna lose. It's like-
What? No, I said
Come
it's
on.
even less. I said like 170.
All right, so you guys, I
133?
don't know. He had 363 yards passed
363 today?
because think about it: McKinnis 103, Hollins 90, Fulgham 90, 80, 54, Stanback 50, Couture 39, Eberhardt 27.
Also, I was right when I said 300-ish.
Yeah. It didn't feel like it.
Didn't feel like that at all.
It didn't
no.
feel
like
like
it
it,
at all.
right? It
'Cause
didn't feel
I
like it.
felt like he was more on flat in his back under a pile of Argo defenders than
And
throwing
then,
the ball.
how many passing yards do you think Cameron Dukes had?
Oh,
Dukes.
I'll say.
Say-
I'll say 300. No, high twos.
I'd
High
say
twos.
230.
260.
I say 230.
260 and Roland said 230. He had 254. The biggest difference is obviously ball security. He had 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Of course, he had the one fumble. But Vernon
give him
Adams,
that.
2 DDs, 1 interception, and 2 fumbles.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ball security.
S. Davis asked the question: does the grass field play a factor, considering every other team plays on turf? Possibly, and it was wet too, right? So a lot of those fumbles, Toronto fumbled too, right? So that could have been a factor. With Vernon's hurt right hand, and the ball being wet, maybe that was a factor.
Well, maybe does that affect the line of scrimmage?
Can we look at last year? TO had a great season last year, right? Toronto's record. They played on half the time was played on the grass, half their time was played on turf. They did just as well on both surfaces. So I don't think it plays that big a factor. Because again, all those guys grew up playing football on grass, then on turf, depending on what university they went to. I don't think it's as big a factor as people say, but
Well, did Hugh Campbell turn on the sprinklers in the morning?
oh,
It was
here
raining.
we go. Here we
It
go.
was raining.
Do not tarnish their 75th birthday.
Vikings chat report says the
That's the
O-line is the
same.
main issue tonight, not VA. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was.
Yeah,
James
'cause-
asking us, gents, what is your level of concern out of 10 right now? So James is minus a 4. What's your level of concern?
Of concern.
it's- Oh, Greg, come on, Greg.
7.3.
Oh, come on.
You're
feeling
again,
more
I've been
positive than
trumpeting
Gene
this.
was.
This is a Grey Cup year. We need to establish dominance now and put some space in, because you never know what's going to happen. What happens if Vernon Adams, God forbid, gets hurt? Right? Would you not rather have a few games cushion or be fighting for a playoff spot? Right? It's our Grey Cup year. We need to establish who we are, and we got to be dominant. That's
Yeah.
again, you had Vernon Adams and all these receivers that you brought in, which is supposed to be an upgrade of last year. You've got a running back that's supposed to be an upgrade from last year. You brought in the heft on a D line that's supposed to be an upgrade from last year. So yeah, pardon me for expecting at least last year or better. And this performance in TO, my 7.3 level of concern right now.
Okay.
based
All right,
on that
Roland, what do you
game and
think?
that effort.
7.3. So the higher the number, the more concerned, right? So
Exactly.
Of
seven-
course.
okay. 7.3. I think we can still turn it around. I think we know what needs to be done, or at least I'm hoping that after this game they see what needs to be done. So maybe not as high as 7.4. I would say my level of concern is probably around 5.5.
What?
It's just one game.
Mr. Positive.
It's just one game.
I'm going to go 1
What, you're not concerned
out
at
of
all?
10. It's the first game.
No matter.
Okay. You know what I'm going to say, Greg. You know exactly what I'm going to
It's a
say.
9-team league. And
It's
it's
a
how you finish. No,
9-team league.
doesn't matter. You still
It
need to
doesn't
get up
matter
for.
how you start. It's how you finish. Look at Montreal.
Okay, that's talking from a record game point of view, but I'm talking from getting new fans into the stands. We have 54,000 people coming next week. If they put another effort like today in next week, Mr. Doman not going to be happy. I know I'm not going to be happy.
Well,
If they
again,
don't, it's one game. You should have been ready to play today, and you should have not let Cameron Dukes, whatever his last name is, slice and dice you down the field for 3 TDs. I'm sorry. That was brutal. That should not happen with the level that this team is supposed to be at.
Yeah.
So I'll okay, 9-team league, Montreal, lousy start. They got hot on a weak East team, caught lightning in a bottle, and they won. Bottom line is, yes, I would love to be dominant from start to finish and win the Grey Cup, right? No, I'm sure there's no debate among all Lions fans. But what marks a successful season is winning the Grey Cup, right? So it's a process.
Like Montreal last year, right?
Yeah. Like, does anyone think, oh, I'd rather be Winnipeg, I'd rather be BC, I'd rather be Toronto? No. Everyone's saying, oh, we'd rather be Montreal because they won the Grey Cup. They got hot when it mattered, and their team gelled when it mattered. So the Lions have taken a step back on the receivers. They never said their receivers are better. Come on. No one ever said that. They took a step back. They know it. You don't let Rhymes, Whitehead go, lose Hatcher for a half, 2/3 of the year and be better. No. They changed it. They flipped the ratio, put 2 starting Canadians. They had to pay Hollins, they had to pay Cotoy. Fine, whatever, right? You can debate among yourselves why we did that. But they went cheaper on the receivers to add a little on the running back, to maybe add more in the defense.
Yeah.
Right? So obviously, I think we saw better running back play because based on the stats, Stanback had 35 yards rushing on 11 attempts, and he was 5 for 5 receiving. So from a receiving the ball point of view, he was better than the guys we had last year.
Yeah, I like this comment from Surrey Leo's fan. Early in the game next week, we need to pound the damn rock, establish the run, body blows, and set up the big shots. Yeah, exactly. We need to establish dominance at the very beginning, right? You know.
Now, Arthur, you rattled off money. I gotta say this before I blow up. My head blows up here. You rattled off money. We went cheaper to pay here. That means this is professional sport, right? Because there's money involved. Professional sport, especially football. What have you done for me lately? Well, if you let Whitehead go and Dominic Rhymes go, and you're replacing them with this, knowing that Hatcher is on the bench because he's hurt, like I argued all year, you are not. You're saying you're better because you let that happen. You're expecting this young stuff that comes in to be ready to go. We don't have that luxury, and unless this effort that I saw today, because all I have to go on for this year is today. That's why I said if this effort's repeated next week, we're in a lot of trouble. I mean, I don't expect to win every game 38-0, but again, I agree with Roland, and was that Surrey Leo's about pounding the rock?
All right.
The O-line to be there.
But just replying to the receiver comment, where was Rhymes and Whitehead against Winnipeg when we needed them?
Well, let's see. In my opinion,
where were they?
Rhymes was non-existent. Whitehead was on the sideline where they put him.
No, like once Hatcher was out of the game, Lucky rotated in to the starting receivers.
Right, but if he was not schemed in, doesn't matter if you're a starter. If he's not,
he took someone else's spot. I think what happened is McInnes took McInnes' spot. McInnes took Hatcher's spot.
Yes,
and then Lucky took McInnes' spot. But where was Rhymes when they needed him?
Non-existent.
So against the biggest game of the year for the Lions last year, where was he? And let me not remind. I mean, I don't want to crap on Dominic Rhymes. The big game in the dome. Few seconds left.
Yep.
Needed to get down so we can kick the field
Mental
goal.
fart, brain fart.
Come on. So
yeah,
these receivers, okay, as of right now, they're not as good, but hopefully by the end of the year, they get a few more reps and snaps. Hopefully by next year, they're better. Right? So again,
I can't wait next year.
Next year.
Well, no, but we're talking about end of this year. So
yeah,
I'm looking at we needed more speed, more athleticism out of our receivers when Hatcher went down. Right? McInnes rose up. Hollins was always there the whole year. We need more people to step up. Now, whether it is what Lucky didn't get the ball, Couture didn't get the ball, they're force feeding it to the other guys. Hey, that's McKismet, right? I mean, but we needed more out of that group.
Yeah. So
that's just to talk about the receivers, right? That's just to talk about receivers. But I mean, concern-wise, I'm not concerned because one game on the road, it was a 2-point game. When Vernon Adams had the ball with like 2 minutes left.
Yeah. But it was
on
20,
a second and
it
medium.
6 earlier.
Yes.
So,
well, whatever. It's
yeah.
The game is on the road. Like again, this is when it's great. Like if the Lions won ugly, do we have this question about concern?
Yeah.
Okay, they won ugly. They won by 1 point. Say in that point of view, Adams just fell down and they kick a field goal. They're up by 1 point and they squeak out the win. The bend don't break works again. I mean, that's what we're talking about. That's a professional sports. It's a fine line. You're on the road. A lot of newcomers. And the ball security was an issue. 4 turnovers to 1. A lot of reasons why they should have lost and did lose.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to give
but they could have won.
Adams credit for digging himself out of the hole at like the 5-yard line, marching down for one series for a field goal, another one to get down to the 35-yard line to potentially kick the go-ahead points, and he just did not have the ball security. So I think as the win, if actually, at that point,
that play, I think he was actually down. I think he got the first down and he was down, but it wasn't called that way, right?
Well, when he rolled over, he was pointing up that he was down. Look at the replay. But again, never should have been that way. Never should have had Cameron Dukes put that many points up on us. Even if Toronto is at home, if we are on the road, even if we've had all these changes, a 3rd-string, 4th-string indoor football league guy from the NAIA should not be beating and outplaying Vernon Adams. Sorry.
No, he's coming into the year 2nd string for sure. Once Kelly got like suspended for like half the season or whatever, he's been in the starter. He's been in the starter for the last few weeks. There's no I mean, he's their starting quarterback.
Fair enough, but he should not be taken on. He should not be cutting up. Our D line is more experienced. New to the team or whatever. He should not be cutting through our D like that with the outstanding mind that RP is, the outstanding defensive coach that he's been labeled. Cameron Dukes should not be slicing and dicing us like that. 7.3 is the concern, and it's staying there until they prove to me different.
So, comment here from Huge Benno. In a salary cap era, you need to be willing to suffer the pain. I guess it goes to what Arthur was saying earlier. When Ed Hervey came to Vancouver and dragged us through the mud like dogs, I never thought we'd get 50,000 again. That's the one positive.
100%.
So, yeah.
Yep. So this team needs a better effort to repay Mr. Doman. That's all I'm saying. And I can only go on this. And I don't care what excuses Arthur throws out there or what reasons. Sorry, not excuses. Reasons.
Hey, watch your mouth, buddy.
Enough.
Watch your mouth.
Not enough. Not enough for me.
But, positives, right? Fulgham was great. James says Eberhardt will be legit. I think so, too. I think Couture stepped it up a notch. Like, we knew from last year that Couture is going to be, a player, right? And so those
I like Stanback. Stanback is a definite improvement.
I will say this for Stanback, with the porous O-line play, there was times he got snowed under, but there were times on his own he did a lot better than those little scat backs because he squared up and he went north-south as fast as possible, and he did get positive yardage more times than not.
Yeah. Jim
Five
says,
5 for 5 receiving for Sandbag.
Yes, yeah, we did comment on that during the game.
Yeah.
He can catch it out of the backfield.
yeah.
Unlike the adventures sometimes it was last year. You know, VA is forced to check down to that outlet, and that safety valve didn't catch the ball.
Yeah. So Jim says, I'm not worried about our QB. I trust in RP, but I'm worried about our O-line and run game. Yeah. O-line definitely. I think if our
hand in
O-line
hand.
steps it up, Stanback can take it from there. So Stanback's got it, but he needs the O-line in front of him too. Yeah. All right. So we're coming up to 46 minutes. So let's shift gears. How did we do on the fantasy? So Eberhard was one of my picks, and I was hoping he would get a lot more passes, but Fulgham got a lot of passes. Arthur, you got Fulgham in your team, right?
I do. I have to check. Yeah, my fantasy team. Yeah. I mean, I had Oliveira as my team captain, and yeah, I think the Bombers probably played worse than the Lions. I think they did play worse than the Lions for sure, and that what sunk me.
Yeah.
But
So this week, I'm looking at our league here. This week, Greg has 118.9 points. So Greg is the leaderboard this week. I got 97.7. Arthur got 80.8. So hey, you guys on the live stream, if you want to join our league,
Yeah, please.
Yeah, just look for 3D Bros.
I need some competition.
Whoa. Says the guy that actually I Roland, you want to throw that in? I'm 1 week short of you guys too.
Okay.
Well, you avoided the Bomber game, which is to your benefit.
Well, it's Bombers. Didn't really matter to me, but so sorry.
So sorry.
Huge Benno has a question for us. Before I sign off, favorite BC Lion of all time from each
Oh
of you.
boy.
I know who Greg's is.
Oh, I know who Greg's is too.
Yeah, really.
Number 81, right?
Number 81.
Yeah, no, Superman. I'm sorry, no, Superman's it. Great. I got to pick one.
Yes, one.
Of all time. Oh,
it's hard. I've got a few that I like. Hard to pick one.
I got to go either. Well, okay, Larry Crawford, and a very close second is Mel Bird of that Orange Crush secondary. Larry Crawford, lockdown corner, great interception guy, and he could return punts, and he ran the vector. Mel Bird, almost as good, little on the small side, but he played big. So I'll have to say Larry Crawford.
All right. Okay, Arthur?
When I play football, I'm I'm actually 3 players at heart: a QB, a middle linebacker, and a safety. Well, I would say strong safety, but that's not allowed because this is CFL. Hey. So
you're an OQB and a DQB, basically.
Pretty much. So I would say for the Lions, my favorite Lion is Solomon Elamine. Because just the way he played.
Yeah.
He hit hard.
He did.
And he covered the field. I remember saying, hey, his 40 speed is kind of slow, but game speed, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Sideline to sideline, he was good.
And he hit hard, and that's what we sorely needed. Definitely needed that tonight. And Greg, I've always been wanting a dominant middle linebacker of Solly's ilk. So he's my favorite BC Lion of all time.
Yeah.
That leaves you, Ro.
That leaves me. I guess my recent favorite player of all time is this one, number 16. Brian.
Barry Hill, right?
Well, Barry Hill looks positive. This.
And wait, is that Dave Dickinson's number? No.
No, he was Nathan Rourke's old number here. He was 12.
12. Yeah. So that's my most recent one. But going back a bit, one I think that was probably underrated, but it's a beast of a guy is number 19, Paris Jackson.
Oh yeah, there was a guy that punished you after he caught the ball.
Yeah. So yeah.
I mean, I do like Claremont. I know this is where we're going. I do love Claremont, Jason Claremont. He's a pretty awesome player. Yeah.
So, all right. I guess we'll be signing off soon. Just some final thoughts from the guys on the chat. Sir Leo's fans, let's face facts. Next week will be a bit of a dog and pony show, with Mr. 50 Cent performing. But yeah, the boys need to come out with some grit, play for each other, and play their game, play with pride. Definitely.
Yeah. They have to trust each other so linebackers aren't turning around looking to see what's happening when a ball carrier's coming at them.
Yeah.
Did not like that one bit.
Epic Tree says, "Man, O-line has to step it up." Still optimistic though. Yeah, I think there's time.
I agree 100% with that.
Yeah,
Epic
we've
Tree,
been saying
100%.
that for how many years now?
Yeah, I mean, I think they might need I think the Lions are starting 2 extra Canadians, so they may need to put some Americans in the guard position.
Yeah. All right.
They just need to get a dose of Murphy Nasty. That's all they need.
Ooh,
This is for Greg. S.
I
Davis
like
is
that.
wearing his 81 jersey tonight.
Didn't we invite S. Davis to our section to get a burger?
S. David, maybe
Oh man,
Greg wants you to put a number 7 on you.
I'll take Swerve and Mervin before I take 81 anytime.
All right.
And I'll even take Ned Armour before I take 81.
Oh,
Okay, so I guess we'll call it a night. Thanks, guys, for joining us tonight. Hopefully we'll catch you at the BC Place Stadium for this upcoming game. Should be fun. Going to be lots of people, lots of new fans who may not know much about football. So hopefully we'll convert some of them. And if we get a chance to meet you guys either in this game or sometime during the season, I'd love to say hi to you.
yeah, come on by to
please come
section
and say hi.
246.
Yeah,
246. We'll do it like a quick game recap at the game right afterwards. And then our live stream will be 8:30 p.m. on a Sunday
8:30
after the game.
So we're gonna try to keep this consistent. So it'll be on schedule, 8:30 every Sunday.
So remember, the 3 best looking guys in section 246 were in these numbers: 2 7s and a 16, right?
Well, sometimes I wear Bet's number too. So
Okay, well, the 3 best looking guys in section 246. Enough said.
All right. Take care, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon and talk to you again.
Go Lions, go.
Go Lions, go.
Bye bye.